So, on camera, you do not put on eyeliner. Don't do that. This, don't do that. Looks terrible. You don't put on eyebrow makeup. You don't, but lip gloss? You could put on lip gloss. I wouldn't even put on face makeup. I would just put on lip gloss. Even if like, you have to like use your finger a little or mess with it a little. Drawing attention to your lips means that people are listening to you. And you don't have to say anything with your lips for them to be listening to. So put on lip gloss in public. And I know they're going to be asking me about lip gloss. I've got the environmental and campaign questionnaire. And I don't know if you read this, but they're expecting some drama. They're like, you better play nice. And they have us initial. Look at that. Look at that. They'd be bothering me more than the paparazzi. So I signed it and I agreed to their rules. No personal attacks. You have to respect. You can't interrupt. And I don't know who they think they're dealing with, but these people sound like animals. So it's a good thing I'm going, because I know that I'm going to do a good job keeping the peace. And then they describe here what it is, and the ground rules, of course, are included. And basically, it's a forum that's nonpartisan, educational, and interactive, and it's for people to get to know the candidates of Santa Monica, basically. To get to know us. So if anyone's fighting, I just say to let them fight, because we really want to get to know each other. So people can't emotionally regulate. We want to know. I think that that's important in politics. Not how much money and power you have, but can you emotionally regulate? Do you care about all of life? Or are you just in it for yourself? So I've got the answers to these questions. And I actually have a question for you. What is FFPC ID? What the heck?
Got me.
I don't know. And then they're trying to ask me out. So basically, I'm running a really cool campaign. I don't believe in money. I don't believe that politicians should be bought out. I don't even believe that we should be voted in. I believe that it's the role of a servant. And if you want to give and if you want to serve, you don't gotta be the special one that gets voted and win the popularity. You don't gotta shine the light on who you are, tell everyone who you are and how you're helping. You just do it. And people are gonna see you, because people are gonna know if you're doing it. And that's how politics should be. Just keep showing up and show up as a servant to advocate for others. Don't just talk about doing it. So what's really exciting is I feel that I've already been walking the walk and talking the talk for many years. You guys have been seeing me do my thing. And my 3 pillars don't mention a call to love, and I thought about that. I was like, a big part of my work is having, instead of enforcers that punish behaviors, that we have systems where a call to love responds to behaviors as a strategy to meet a universal need. And if we put our attention on the universal need and we meet it, instead of punishing the behavior, then we're helping to heal my organism. We can, in doing so, apply behavioral analysis, reprogramming, reframing, EMDR. We can implement all of these things to have my organism have insight, inspiration to change. And that's a learning and growth mindset. And I would like to go through the questions with you. Is that cool with you, Steven?
Yes.
All right, we got Shakta Magazine. We live. Oh, actually, we just don't have to edit this, but we're not live, but we always do it in one take, don't we?
Yes.
All right. So, question number 1, why are you running for office, and what are your top 3 priorities if elected? I'm running for Santa Monica City Council because I believe we're being called to become more conscious of what our power actually means. Human beings have extraordinary power. Okay. We can build cities. We can transform landscapes. We can move enormous amounts of material. We can redirect water, consume enormous amounts of resources, can create technology that alter entire ecosystems. And with great power comes great responsibility. So I believe our responsibility is not simply to use our power to meet human needs, but to use our power to meet the needs of the entire living planet, including human beings, animals, plants, insects, soil, water, oceans, and countless interconnected systems that sustain life. My own experience brought this into focus because I've spent years creating gardens and community spaces centered around nature, healing, connection, and service. And when gardens I helped create were bulldozed, I experienced firsthand the disconnect between what people and living ecosystems need and what our governmental systems sometimes prioritize. The experience made me want to enter government not simply to manage the existing system, but to help awaken a different understanding of what government can be. A place where we become conscious of needs, develop capacity, bring people together, and create conditions in which life can flourish. I love using the example that the government right now is like a controlling, sadistic, punishing, and rewarding parent. And it has a favorite child. And instead, we want a government that's more like a loving, nurturing parent. That you don't even know it's there, that there's so much abundance and thriving created by this said government, but just like a loving parent, all of the children say we did it ourselves. My 3 priorities are healing, biodiversity, and fellowships. And these are not 3 campaign concepts that I created for an election. They are 3 areas of work I live and breathe and have already been doing, and the 3 areas I want to bring into public life on a much larger scale. For healing, what that means to me is creating opportunities for people to begin the day with personal development, connection, and care through morning healing circles that can include breathwork, meditation, yoga, walking massage, and I am the creator of a walking massage called Flow Strokes. There's other modalities and other types of body work, empathy practices, sharing circles, and other forms of conscious communication. I found that we heal just by sharing our body sensations, feelings, and needs, and not only do we heal together, we jigsaw together to collaborate to meet needs and make decisions together, because a part of us awakens, where it inspires us to do good when we hear what each other is needing. My vision for Santa Monica is to become a true destination, think Burning Man, for this kind of community connection where residents and visitors can begin their mornings together, develop greater self-awareness, where daisies, healing circles explode into something that we all create based off the principles and emotional capacity we learn of everyone. We learn how to communicate with empathy, develop relational skills necessary for a deeply connected community. I envision spaces where we can have hot therapy, like hot yoga, and saunas. We could create this at the beach. I have, even cold plunge, and other cold therapies, and heart therapy through empathy, and healing circles where we share and attune to body and body sensations, and co-regulate, not just share feelings, and collaborate to find ways to help each other meet needs so that we can all thrive. Body therapy, massage, touch, snuggling. I often say that there's a snuggling deficit as a joke, and this is what I'm talking about when I say the snuggling deficit. I've been taking cold plunges at the beach and creating intentional spaces for healing and connection for almost a decade. And I've been facilitating healing circles for a long time, so this is not an abstract idea for me. It is an existing practice that I want to make more accessible, visible, and community-centered. I want our mornings to begin with an opportunity to care for ourselves and one another, because I believe that when we develop our own capacity for empathy, emotional regulation, communication, and connection, we become more capable of caring for our families, our neighbors, our communities, and the natural world around us. And I want us to experience a Santa Monica where connection and belonging are part of everyday life. Biodiversity is my next pillar. We tranquilize predators and tell them they can't live here. Our solution for the bluffs eroding is to blame the squirrels instead of putting a rooting system in plants. And by the way, I've put these gardens here. They bulldoze them. So biodiversity means a lot. My second pillar means protecting and expanding gardens, food forests, native plants, mature trees, pollinator habitat, community gardens, wildlife habitat, healthy soil composting, water conservation, and ecological landscaping, so that the living world around us has room to regenerate. I want a Santa Monica that becomes a place where we welcome and respect the full complexity of all ecosystems that surround us and learn how to coexist with wildlife rather than automatically treating other species as other problems. And the don't feed the animal signs, you could consider those gone. The we are all one system in a state of interbeingness, connected, and not only in a state of unity, but we're also in a state of divinity. That, we want signs like that. I want us to welcome and respect the full complexity of ecosystems that surround us and to learn how to coexist with wildlife. And predators and prey, insects and birds, plants and microorganisms all play roles in ecological systems. When ecosystems are healthy, those relationships can help maintain balance. We don't have to put rat traps and squirrel traps and commit ecological disasters like in 2006 when we gassed all of the holes that the squirrels at the Santa Monica Bluffs live in. That does not mean putting dangerous wildlife into inappropriate residential environments. It means creating wildlife corridors, protected habitat, and appropriately managed wildlife reserves, including opportunities to restore habitat along our coast and in other suitable areas so that native species have somewhere to live and move safely. A month ago we had a mountain lion, and I'd like to think that that mountain lion can come back again and we won't tranquilize it and kick it out, that we could make friends. We could learn to live together. This way, I would like for us to think creatively about, I don't claim to know the answers, which is why I want to hear from all of you. And together I want us to think creatively about how Santa Monica can become a model for urban wildlife coexistence, including habitat restoration that could eventually support a much wider diversity of native species while also introducing non-native species of plants and animals. And let's think outside of the box with this. We also need to learn from what happens when ecological relationships are disrupted, when we remove species or destroy habitat without understanding the larger ecosystems. We can create cascading consequences that are difficult to reverse. Rather than constantly asking how to eliminate animals, let us consider that we consider inconvenient. I want us to become much more sophisticated about habitat management and ecological balance and coexistence. I want us to harness the power of human technology, including appropriate technologies, robotics, and innovative building systems to create homes and neighborhoods that actively contribute to biodiversity rather than separating us from it. Imagine homes built from breathable, living, organic, and regenerative materials integrated with gardens, trees, pollinator habitat, composting, and water systems so that our built environment becomes part of the ecological system rather than simply replacing it. I want us to begin visualizing Earth as a beautiful mother and our shared breadbasket, something we belong to rather than something we merely own, that you can't own Earth. And the shift I'm interested in is from ownership towards belonging Instead of asking only what do I own, begin asking what do I belong to? What belongs to me, and what am I responsible for caring for? My experience creating gardens has showed me that biodiversity can also be a source of beauty, food, education, connection, and healing. And I want Santa Monica to become a city where residents are empowered to participate directly in restoring the ecosystems around them rather than simply being consumers of public space. And lastly, on biodiversity, I just want to say that the fires was a huge tragedy. Everyone around the world was mourning when California, beloved Los Angeles, Pacific Palisades, all over LA was on fire. And what we learned is that if we create homes that are toxic, then what goes into the environment is toxic. So we need to start thinking, if our homes all catch fire, like, number one, if there's vegetation everywhere and life everywhere and watering holes, it's not going to all catch fire. And if it does, let it be beautiful, organic, life-enriching ash that is life-affirming and not toxic. Gradually more life-affirming. My third pillar, and I love that they're asking for 3 things that are important to me because I picked 3 pillars. So if they asked for 4, the 4th I would have said is a call to love. But since they picked 3, number 3 is fellowships. So fellowships means creating needs-based communication in which people come together to meet needs together rather than depending primarily on voting and money to determine who gets what. And we use deserve language when we use voting and money and meet needs this way. And deserve language hurts everyone involved. It says that we're not all meant to thrive. I want to explore a model in which we're all meant to thrive. I want to explore a model in which learning and teaching, giving and receiving, creating and making are brought together, and you don't have to pay, that you belong no matter what, you could never get kicked out, there's no rules or laws, no governors or leaders, that we go off values and principles in becoming our best self. And the model is based off of the 12 steps, which has had no scandal or controversy for 84 years. And when we come together in community spaces so that the functions we have separated into schools, stores, and factories are once again interconnected parts of a living community, then we all know what that empty feeling we've been missing is. We've been commodifying what we're supposed to do together. Instead of trying to get money and grades, we should be building trust and connection. So that's what fellowships is about. Imagine community restaurants where people can participate without money being the prerequisite. We all know how many grandmas want to cook us some good food. We're all going to eat good in this world because the prerequisite for receiving a meal doesn't mean you have to pay. We'll use donated supplies, surplus food, create opportunities for people to cook, teach, learn, serve, and eat together for free. Because it's not really free. Your energy is your currency. And the grounding and energies you bring are enough in this new world. Another imagination is imagine clothing fellowships where donated and discarded clothing become the raw materials for fashion, creativity, repair, teaching, self-expression, rather than simply becoming waste. We could, if someone thinks they don't have money to buy new clothes, just go to the fashion fellowship where giving, receiving, learning, teaching, creating is available. Imagine these spaces for bringing children together, elders, people of every age. We could do it for dentistry. We could do it for any universal need where there's scarcity, where someone can teach, someone else learns, someone else. So the point is not that every transaction in society must immediately become free, or that I have an answer for how such a system would operate. The point is that we can begin experimenting together as we acknowledge that what we're doing is not really working right now. And that if we could bring together systems in which willingness and capacity become forms of currency, I believe willingness and capacity are real ways of voting by showing what we're willing to show up for. Traditional voting tells us what someone selected on a particular day, and money tells us what someone has the financial capacity to purchase. It doesn't show what people don't have financial capacity or who don't have the capacity to go vote want. But everyone can show up in their own capacity. And money, willingness and capacity reveal something deeper, whether we actually want what we say we want, and whether we're willing and able to participate in making it happen. Sometimes work doesn't get done in a willingness and capacity system because no one has the willingness or capacity to do some stuff. And that itself can teach us something. Perhaps we need to redesign the work, develop new technology. Maybe some work's not meant to get done, or make the work more enjoyable. Find someone who actually wants to do it, or recognize that what we assume needed to be done might be hurting us or hurting someone on the planet. I believe that we need to become much more curious, and the way that we become more conscious is we get things like voting and money and other merit-based systems that don't actually acknowledge our willingness, capacity, our feelings, and our needs. I do not pretend to have finished a blueprint for a post-market needs-based society, but I've thought a lot about it, and I think I have a pretty good model. I don't think that one of us is supposed to figure it out. I believe that we're supposed to figure it out together. And that's what fellowship means to me. Creating spaces where people can experiment, learn, teach, give, receive, create, care, and discover what becomes possible when we organize around fellowships and needs, rather than allowing money to be the primary measure of value. I have the willingness to ask better questions, the capacity to bring people together, and the courage to use whatever power I am entrusted with to help us discover the answers together. And that's just the first question. Should we end there?
Yeah.
There's 11 questions.